Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of your Simraceway Donington Championship. We're here today for the finale of what could be one of the greatest climaxes in all of Simraceway history. My name's Liam Jenkins and I'll be calling all of the action for you over the next few hours as we welcome you live here to Donington Park for, as I said earlier, the final round of the championship, where of course the grand prize, a pair of tickets to the British Touring Car race that's to be raced at the Donington circuit next year. And the car we're using today, none other than the legendary Mazda 787 Donington, which prides itself on being an endurance circuit. You've got the Brit Car 24 hours at races there, loads of different events as well, including the Fun Cup. And it really is going to be an interesting evening of racing just to see how these Mazda 787s attack it. So taking a quick look at the qualifying standings as we speak, it is Kiangi76 who's currently the fastest man on the circuit with a 1:14.827. Darek there in P2 with a 1:14.9. We've got Litos in third, Master Rocco in fourth. Jim Wally sits there quite happily in P5. Supercar 1 sits in sixth place with Bolinas in seventh. We've got Tommy Montana Tony, that he's making his debut, I believe, in this series in P8 with Jim Hall in ninth. And they round out your runners for the session so far. So definitely going to be an intriguing race to say the least, as we get ready to find out who really is going to be the cream of the crop as they look to try and take home that grand prize of just what could be one of the greatest, as I say, it could be one of the greatest prizes, I think, in Simraceway history. It truly is a fantastic opportunity. And as we take a look at maybe what could be the most interesting part of this, the championship standings before going into week number 3, Ingange leads the way so far with, out of a possible 140 points, he's taken 116, so two very impressive performances by Ingange. You'll be able to see him perform a little bit later tonight in the A race. He's only got a little lead though, as Vijay is right up on his back end. He's not too far away at all, and he's on 104 points, so not too much separating them. Then further down the field is still all to play for as Zepaquenu, KKND, WTTM1 and Crass Action round out your top 6, with Dimitri, Guzel, Brock Landers rounding out your top 10. So 1 minute 35 seconds left in this qualifying session. As we say, a 1 minute 14, currently the ideal time for these drivers at the moment. That's where they're all aiming for. Question is how many guys can actually match it there. It's going to be very difficult to really put get anyone near Yankee at the moment. As we say, he's currently just under a tenth faster than Darek, and Darek as well has had a bit of a bumpy ride up until this current stage. He's 12th in the championship with 64 points, so by no means a bad performance at all, but he does still have a lot of work to do. He is aiming, if he could get 70 points, there is still a very tiny chance that he could walk away with a big prize here today. Maybe not a grand prize, but he could definitely get something good. So as we wait for the drivers then just to start their final laps, Litos 76, the man in P3 at the moment. He's currently placed 20th in the championship on 34 points, 4 away from the tie of Master Rocco and Crash HMF. So again, a lot to play for there. Master Rocco in the race today. He's just joined the server now, set a lap time of a 1:15.4. That puts him in P5. So that's going to be a heated battle between Litos and Master Rocco. 4 points separating them, that's not much at all. Bolinas in P8 will be hoping for a good result, as will Wacky Pie. So as the session's about to come to a close, the question is, who's really going to be able to make a dent in Yangi's time, if anyone? I think he's looked too strong so far, way too strong to be caught. The checkered flag waves for a few drivers now as the session does hit 0. Kiangi is in the pits, Darek's in the pits. That leaves it down to the man in third position. The question is, will he be able to get enough? It's currently Litos 76, making his way down into the Melbourne hairpin for the final qualifying lap of this championship. Through he goes, and he's going to go into Goddard's for one final time. He needs about a tenth of a second to overtake Darek and get himself on the front row. Is it an achievable goal, or is it just out of his reaching distance? Let's find out as Litos 76 goes across the line. Does he improve? Oh, he does it as well by a big margin. 2.5 tenths of a second quicker. And that is a real threat to Giangi going on the outside of turn number 1. He'll just start a tenth of a second away in sheer pace. The rest of the drivers now making their way back to the pit lane. Master Rocco in P5 looking to show what he can do. Oh, and he's had a big incident going off the final corner, and any chance he had of those 900ths of a second have surely been stripped from him. Indeed they have. Supercars off as well. Bellina's comes across the line. That's a very slow entrance. And no, that's not going to be good enough to improve. And that is the end of the qualifying session. We will be very shortly back with you for the full race. Hello everybody and welcome back to your Simraceway Donington Championship Round 3 and the final race of the championship. There's some tense situations going down as we wait for that fourth red light to illuminate. Kiangi leads the field away. It's a big start, immediately closing off any opportunity that the poor Dorek had. They're trying to get past him. Leads on 76 as well, just trying to sneak his way round the outside of the first corner. But nice contact and Jim Wally goes pirouetting off into the grass and taking with him, more importantly, Master Rocco. And that is going to be so dividend for this championship as well. Master Rocco did so well early on. And unfortunately, we fear his battle may just maybe cut short. The 18th place man, who only has a 4-point lead over Litos, may just have lost that now, as Litos has had a flyer of a start. He's up and retaining his third position, as Darek now is really hounding your race leader as they make their way down the front, the back stretch, I should say, for the first time today. Over the bump they go, and these Mazdas really do look like they're flying as they're going towards the chicane. Yangi under a lot of offensive pressure right now from Darek. There's not much separating the two of them, that's for sure. And Jim Hall at the back there receiving a penalty, but I don't really want to take my eyes off what's going on at the front now. It's an insane battle we've got there. As Darek and Litos both start almost trying to reel in the race leader as well. We're almost the entire first lap complete. Indeed we are then, so lap 2 out of 9 gets underway now. Yangi still leads, Darek follows him close behind, then Litos, who's really made some ground. This is a very strong performance here from Litos today. He needs 4 points to move up a position. Crash HMF will be racing in the B race a bit later on. But right now, Litos could get some big points. He may move up a bit further, you never know. Let's just wait and see how things pan out though. For now, it is Kiangi that still leads, as Litos now really starting to become the hunter, as Darek becoming the hunter. He had such a great early charge, but since then, he's kind of all come to a bit of a standstill, unfortunately, for him. Bit of a stalemate as Supercar 1 tries to keep with the front three, but he's going to have a bit of a task. These guys are lapping at an incredible pace right now. Tony Montana up to P5. Great start there. Master Rocco recovers to P6 already. So the rest of the field must have had some inconsistencies, as Master Rocco has flown his way, already back up halfway through the field already. But still, the main focus has to be on our race leader as he comes towards the end of lap number 2. Over the line he goes. It has been a big start for him so far. He's led all 3 laps now. There's Darek, there's Litos, there's Supercar to just go through the crane and curves. Tony Montana a little bit further behind there, already 9 seconds down on the leader, if that gives you an idea of how really relentlessly quick these guys are lapping right now. Master Rocco trying to hound him down though, he's only 2.5 seconds away. So again, really starting to up the pressure, but the front 3 are simply dazzling to watch. This has been ruthless driving so far by all 3 of them. Extremely fast pace here, they're not really leaving any man behind. So Kiangi makes his way towards the end of another lap, and we're almost reaching the halfway mark already in this little sprint race, and Kiangi looking to take all 70 points and increase his championship position today. When we quickly take a look at the standings, as we said, overall it is Nganja leads, then Vijay, then Zepaqueno. Your current race leader of Kiangi has not done too badly this championship, as we said earlier on. He's 23rd overall on 28 points, but he's got a big opportunity today to really get himself up there and maybe even fight for a top 10 spot. So the front 3 still remain unchanged, and oh, Darek's off! And that is through the crane of curves, and he's spun it again. He's struggling today. What has happened to poor Darek? Something's not right at all. He rejoins the circuit in what is a very dangerous position. He's down to P6, promoting Master Rocco into the top 5. This could be vital for the championship. Let's just see how things pan out, but right now this race has had just about everything a race fan wants to see. You say then we are approaching the halfway mark in this race. Kiangi still leading by a slim margin of 1.1 seconds there. Supercar 1 now up to P2. Litos is third, and Litos has got a problem. Litos, that's a netcode issue it looks like to me. I may be wrong, but Litos is suffering. Yeah, that's definitely a netcode issue there. And unfortunately for our previously named third place man, his chances of getting a top 20 championship position may just slowly faded away from his grasp. Yes, he has. He's left the game. His chances have been shattered into a million pieces. And it's all to play for as Tony Mountain spins around Master Rocco again through the old hairpin. And I'm not sure how Master Rocco recovered that so well, but Darek is now back up to P4. And this has been a very eventful opening few laps, that's to say the least. We're just trying to wait and see how maybe the rest of the field can adapt to this current situation, as right now I can't see anyone catching Kiangi. Supercar does not have the pace to compete with him, but then again, this championship is not about sheer pace, it's about consistency and how to drive an all-round good, well, overall an good driving style. You know, how can you adapt yourself into a Le Mans winning car, to a Lotus 88B, and then remember a few weeks ago back to that BMW E93. It is a tremendous looking car, but right now I can't see anyone really catching our race leader. I don't want to put a jinx on it or a commentator's curse, but it's looking a very slim chance in all honesty, as Supercar 1, who's 6.8 seconds behind, he just hasn't really had the presence that he needed to catch him early on. He's been very fortunate with the mistakes of others, but as we're on lap 6 out of 9, the gap remains at 6.4 seconds. Supercar 1 there in P2. P3 is Darek still, then Master Rocco out to 4th. Tony down to P5, Jim Wally 6th, then Wacky, then Litos out of the race. Jim Hall in P9, who's still pushing on, but all focus has got to be put on our race leader, hasn't it? He really has done a Sebastian Vettel-esque drive, a tremendous achievement. Over the line to start lap number 7 then. There aren't many laps left to go at all. Let's just wait and see how things start to fizzle out as Darek does start to reel in Supercar, but 13 seconds down the line, it's quite a lot of time to find in such a short space of time. Master Rocco just a few seconds behind Darek, 3 seconds separating them. That could be a possible battle if Darek maybe makes a few more errors. Who knows? Let's just wait and see, but right now Master Rocco is going to need some lightning laps. He was actually a second slower that time than Darek, so he really does need to be upping his game if he wants a shot at that position. So as we take a look back to the action on the racetrack at the moment, it has all kind of died down. We could say it's a calm before the storm. There's one battle that has just maybe started to appear into the very back of your foreground there. It's going to be the Jim Wally and Tony Montana battle as Jim Wally looks to the outside before going in towards that final corner again. Wally really attacking right now, being a bit pushed wide there, but that's not going to matter. It was an easy pass around the outside of Goddard's, and as he goes into Redgate for the 8th time today on your penultimate lap, he's 33 seconds away from the leader. That just gives you a real sense of, well, shock really, when you just consider how quick Kiangi is lapping right now. This is a very deserving victory, that is for sure. This is a truly remarkable performance by Kiangi. As we said, he's had a very up and down season so far. He's done some incredible overtaking manoeuvres, some fortunate, well, I say fortunate, I mean is he's done very well consistently, but the only thing is he's had some very unfortunate errors. I think he's been caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time. He hasn't really had lady luck on his side, but today I think all that's changed.
This is the final lap. Keep it going.
So as you ride on board with him then for just one more lap, How much of a dent is this going to make in Gyeonggi's championship? Well, here's to give you an idea. Gyeonggi currently sits 23rd in the race to the BTCC tickets. 28 points is where he stands at the moment. At 17 to that, he's on 98. That would put him in a net 3rd position if the rest of those drivers weren't to score or outscore him in their races tonight. So that is a huge jump. And Gyeonggi has asserted himself right among the top 3, with the top 3 getting tickets. Gyeonggi is a wild card. Gyeonggi is an underdog. But Gyeonggi could very well also be a winner today in the final round of the Donington Championship for the B race in the 500 to 900 skill quant. He's just a matter of moments away. He hasn't really given it the most aggressive lap in the world, but you know what? It doesn't matter. All he cares about is bringing that car over the start-finish line. Through the Melbourne hairpin he goes for the final time today. And now we'll start feeling that sense of accomplishment. He's done something incredible today. He's led from pole position 9 out of 9 laps, kept his head clean, and now been rewarded with the ultimate prize, 70 points and a net 3rd position. Gyeonggi, you could be going to Donington. Supercar 1 takes a mighty 2nd position. Very impressive there. You could say it's luck that he got to 2nd, but you still need to drive the wheels off the thing to bring it home in one piece. Darak in 3rd, strong showing there. Master Rocco, despite a very topsy-turvy race with multiple incidents, he brings it home inside the top 5, with Jim Wally rounding out your 5 top leaders. Tony Montana in his debut here in the Donington Championship will pick up 6th position. In 7th place belonging to Wacky Pie, 8th place Jim Hall, and 9th place a retired Litos 76. How different would this race have been if Litos were to have stayed in it? Would the championship standings reflect that, or would Litos simply have faded away? That's all if, buts and maybes, but one thing's for certain, Gyeonggi has a very strong chance here at perhaps getting a chance at those British Touring Car Championship tickets. But that's not all from us today. Don't forget, we've still got another 4 races and the climax as well of your Mitsubishi Evo X December Championship. That's also coming up a bit later on. From myself, Liam Jenkins, we'll see you very shortly for the A race of the 500 to 900 skill quant. Hello everybody and welcome back to Donington Park for the final race in the 500 to 900 skill quad of the Donington Championship. And what a journey it's been when we look back over the last 3 weeks of action that this historic circuit has seen. We've seen the breathtaking Lotus 88B, we've seen the fantastic BMW E92, and now we're here with the Mazda 787, the Le Mans legend that is here to conquer this British circuit here today and maybe, just maybe, propel an underdog just like our last race winner of Giagni 76 into a potential BTCC prize winning spot. My name's Liam Jenkins and I'll call all of the action for you over the next few hours or so. As we say, we've still got plenty more races coming up for you, but this is where it matters now as we take a look at the standings going into this race and how that affects the qualifying. In Ganj, the championship leader who scored 116 points out of a potential 140 is currently sat in second behind Lionheart 88. Zepaqueno is P3. Zepaqueno is also third in the championship and he's on 92 points, so he's not that far away. He's about 24 points off of Nganj, so he's definitely still within reaching distance. He currently sits in that last spot of receiving a pair of BTCC tickets. As we say, he sits in third at the moment. You needed to be in the top 3 to win a pair of those tickets. There's Zepaqueno right on the cut-off point there, and he's got a little bit of distance between himself and the man in front as well. Just on the bubble on the outside then is KKND on 86 points and WTTNM1 on 80, Crass Action on 70 and Lionheart, who's also tied with him. Just 2 points behind that is Dimitri and Guzel, and realistically that's about as far as it's going to go. These guys are pretty consistent as we take a look at how qualifying reflects that and where the trends go or thereabouts. We see Lionheart 88, Emax 46, Nganj and Zepaqueno 3rd and 4th, Crash HMF 5th, WTTM1 is P6. Now he needs a big day here today as well. He's P5 at the moment, 80 points scored. He would love to get himself in contention for those tickets. So 5 minutes of qualifying left for today then. And the driver's really starting to heat up the tarmac as well. A load of laps been set already. Driver's looking at about 4 laps optimal at the moment in this 10-minute session. We're about halfway through now. So those banker laps may have just been set already. If they haven't completed them, then it may be time to start thinking about taking a bit of a rush because time's running out fast. And traffic can sometimes be an issue here at a circuit as short as Donington. You say you're only looking at about 1 minute 14 for a lap, so you don't really want to be hanging around too much. You want to get that lap in as soon as you possibly can while it matters, as opposed to waiting until the very last minute and struggling and risking all that pressure piling on you and making a silly error that can see you start the race from a big disadvantageous position. So still no change at the top of the timesheets at the moment. It is still Lionheart that leads the assault on a 113. In fact, the only driver to break into a 113. He's 2.5 tenths still quicker than Crash, then Emax, then Nganj, then Brock Landers. So Brock again making a nice indent there inside that top 5. Everyone knows what Brock's capable of. He had a very good showing, in fact, last race, I believe, with the Lotus 88Bs. I'll be looking to do much of the same here today. He's currently the man in P10 in the championship, 65 points overall. And another interesting thing to note as well is that Zepaqueno, who's currently 3rd place in this race, may have actually scored more points if it wasn't for a silly error. He only scored, 30 points. He finished 11th position last time round, and that was due to receiving a post-race drive-through penalty, which is the equivalent of 20 seconds added to his final time for 2 avoidable collisions that subsequently moved him from P6 to P11. So a big loss there, and you have to think, if he didn't move or didn't lose those points, he's lost out on 20 points, so he would have been on 114, just 2 points behind Vijay. And you have to think, it's so close at the front of that championship. He's got a lot to make up for today, and he's not really made a dent in qualifying the way he has done in previous weeks. He's down to 8th at the moment, and he's gone wide. He's gone off, in fact. That's at the crane occurs as they approach the old hairpin and into McLean's. He's had a bit of a bad run there, unfortunately for him. He's luckily kept the car going in a straight line and recovered it quite quickly, but even so, it's not really going to be in the best of mindsets now as he goes into the final few minutes of this session. So into the chicane he goes, very late braking. Oh, he's gone a bit deep there as well, in fact. He's looking a little bit off today, if you ask me, Zappaqueno. Maybe the pressure's starting to mount a little. Still, though, it is Lionheart that leads. Can't really see that changing much in the next few moments or so. Yeah, oh, but to be honest, Crash just got very close with that last lap. He's just going through turn number 3 now. But he's now just 400ths of a second away. Crash is looking a lot stronger. So through McLean's they go, on back to the old straight again. And where the infamous Dunlop Bridge used to be, but for now, Crash needs to remain focused. He's going into that chicane at a 400th of a second disadvantage in a race that could very well prove to be crucial in his drive for those BTCC tickets. So we already know he's not that far away going into this one as well. He's got a lot of work to do today. So as Crash goes over the line to start himself another lap, the man is in 19th place in the championship, scoring just 38 points so far. Now looking like a much stronger driver, and that is the beauty of this championship if you ask me. You may not be the strongest or most competitive driver in the Lotus 88B. You may struggle with the BMW, but if you're strong in one particular racing Jeez, I think I may have been a bit of an error there. So yeah, as I was saying earlier on, if you were just skilled in one particular racing discipline and you've got yourself into that situation where, okay, so maybe I couldn't have done as well as I should have done in the Lotus, or maybe I could have done a little bit better in the BMW. When you approach your favourite discipline, like the Mazda 787, you can really shine and you can set that championship alight. And that's exactly what Crash HMF is doing right now. He's making a huge impact and showing that given the right car, given the right environment, and he can be a force to be reckoned with, that is for sure. As he makes his way in towards the final corner, let's just see. Oh, and Lionheart improves. And that's a big improvement as well. 0.2 of a second, in fact. Now, what can Crash do in retaliation? He's going out to that start-finish line now. Don't forget he will get another time. So, no, he won't get another lap. And he doesn't beat him. So a late blister of a lap by the pole sitter sets himself in the best position for the race. Ganja's in the pits, WTTN. The rest of the field are out. That's it. Session over. Lionheart takes a storming pole position by 0.2 of a second. We'll be back very shortly with the full race. shuffling around before the chicane. Emax very sensibly pulls over, but is he calling it a day? No, he's not. He may have just a bit of an issue there, though. Back at the front of the field, Lionheart completes his second lap of the afternoon and we're about to set off on lap number 3. Okay, so just found out we are in some technical difficulties at the moment. Apologies for the lack of picture. We are working on it and can definitely bring you updates live from the track as they happen. I'll do my best to keep you updated in the meantime, as right now still Lionheart leads on his championship charge. He's on lap 4 of 13 at the moment, and as we said, still looking very strong, but it is Ingarns chasing him down 3.2 seconds apart now, so he has started to almost, well, it's done a damage limitation. He's stopped the amount of time being sucked out of him, but even so, 3.5 tenths is still quite a lot to lose. How is our other protagonist doing? Vijay, well, he's down to 9th. The man is now 12 points away from your race. Well, the championship leader is now almost about the same amount of positions away. He's down to P9 at the moment, about 5 tenths away from Crass Action as they make their way down that back straight again in towards a chicane before flying in towards Melbourne Hairpin. Oh, and Crass goes wide, handing essentially Vijay the position. So Vijay out of nowhere in a much stronger scenario now in 8th. That's going to give him some drive. He's got a big group of cars just up in front of him. KKND, Devil Bevin and Dimitri. As he looks on, Crash HMF still trying to ball there with Brock Landers, I believe. Those guys have been going pretty hard at it for the past few laps or so now. They're getting closer and closer, and you've got a sudden sense of urgency about yourself now. You do think that these guys are maybe going to make a little bit of contact, or there's going to be a sudden move where perhaps we don't even see it coming. So Brotlanders defending that position at the moment as they work their way down in towards that chicane once again. Crash in the slipstream, desperately looking for a way through. Veers to the inside, but thinks much better of that. Ducks back in and realises that that's only going to end up in an even bigger disadvantage. And decides to call it a day and rethink his strategy. You can't blame him either. We're almost halfway through this race now. About to start lap number 6 out of 13. It is still lying out the lead, and Brotlanders goes wide. Coming out of Melbourne, there was a bit of a lock-up. And now Crash moves up into 3rd position. So big move there for Crash as he enters the podium spots now. Dimitri P5, Devil Bevin P6, KKND 7th, WTTN is 8th, Zeppa Quenu 9th, Crash 10th, Vijay 11th, Clark 10 12th. And there's a nice little train in the back of that pack as well, as Zeppa Quenu is in the pit lane. And that's a stop and go. That is disastrous there for Zeppa Quenu. He's serving the penalty, and that's going to be a big dent taken out of the time. And now again, his championship hopes may have been taken from him. He was on 92 points previously. Both KKND and WTTN and one are in front of him. They're in 7th and 8th respectively. I think this is a game over now. I don't want to call it too soon. Anything can still happen, but it is not looking too good right now. So yeah, just that confirmation. It is a 10-second stop and go penalty. And don't forget, that's still not including the post-race penalty he had at the end of last time, which saw him drop from P6 to P11. So he just has been a bit unlucky when it comes to penalties. And arguably, if you took those two penalties away, we could just see maybe a different championship leader in this scenario. But unfortunately for him, Zappaquino's not really had the strongest of year when it's come to managing penalties and maybe just racing etiquette overall. He's been a bit inconsistent. So lap 7 of 13 and an update of the order. Lionheart, Engange, Crash, Brock, Dimitri, then Devil Bevin, KKND, WTTNM1, Crass Action, Vajay, Zappaquino's off again. And that is coming in towards Melbourne actually. Clark 10 P12 and out of the race is 13th. Yeah, for Emax 46 with Andy Bob, your last remaining runner in P14. The gap at the front now up to 5.5 seconds with Engange in second. And don't forget, Engange as well, who currently doing insanely well here, 116 points. He took a second place last time out, which earned him 66 of those points. When you think about it, he got 50 points the last time round, so 6th place to 2nd place, and could well be up in towards another second. Have to wait and see, but right now, another 68 points would not go amiss, that's for sure. And it's all kind of fizzled out again on the track now. There's not too much action going on. One of the battles that did just previously form before Vajay took a bit of a wider entry was Vajay versus Crass Action. The two drivers 9th and 10th overall in this race, but Vajay just got the crane and curves a little bit wrong. Very easy to do, very difficult corners to master, and you are going to see some errors here, especially from these drivers who, in the car like this as well, where the back end is going to step out a lot. We saw it with the BMWs, and it is very prone to happening, especially through such a low downforce corner where you're going flat out almost sometimes. It's very easy to do so, and I think that was just a living proof of that here today. There is a little bit of a battle up front as well. Well, I say up front, midfield, KKND attacking Devil Bevin now. So KKND really starting to attack Devil Bevin now as they make their way through the crane and curves. Heavy braking there for the old hairpin. He gets it all wrong and KKND goes flying into the gravel. Recovers it quite well, narrowly avoiding a wall there, but as he rejoins back on, WTTN was fairly hesitant in the way he lit his lights, so I don't think he really wanted to go straight into the side of him. He waited as long as he could before he overtook. So KKND now down to 8th place, leaving Dimitri and Devil Bevin to duel it out amongst themselves. In terms of standings as well, when you take a look at what Devil Bevin's achieved here, 17th overall, 42 points, and he's currently full clear of Master Rocco, and that's going to be a position he may very well keep today, with Litos 76 scoring relatively well behind him. Giagni taking a win. It's still up in the air. There's some big drivers there that have scored well in the previous race, but providing us a good result here today, like a top 5 where he's currently competing, who knows what the future's going to have in store for him. But right now, taking a look at how far away already the top 5 are away from the leader, Devil Bevin is 23 seconds away from Lionheart already. So only on lap number 10 here. We're coming towards the end of the race, but that has been a very insane feat. Both leaders in both races here tonight have got away extremely quickly. Although Dimitri's still trying to chase them down now, he's not going to do much, I don't think. So Engange still P2, looking to take those 66 points and looking to secure that first place in this championship and win that pair of BTCC tickets right here at Donington next year. 2014 could be a very big year for Nganji. It's already going to start out this way if he stays in his current position. 2 second places and a 6th, and that's going to earn him those BTCC tickets for him to fly over to the United Kingdom and witness some of the top class touring car racing you could possibly imagine. So Brock Landers P4, Double Bevan P5, Dimitri's still attacking there in P6. He's a little bit far away at the moment. But I can't really see him pulling up to Double Bevan too quickly. Double Bevan's done very well at defending here today so far, especially in the last couple of laps. A bit of a battle forming again there. KKND and WTTN M1 right in the backfield there. That's between 7th and 8th position. As the drivers get ready to start lap number 12 of 13, Lionheart crosses the line, and by doing so sets a time of a 113 I should say, 0.869. So big lap there indeed. And just to give you an idea of how quick that is, a 114.3 was what your championship leader Nganji did, well, soon to be championship leader after this race. So Nganji almost a second slower lap there. The gap now 7 seconds after 12 laps of racing. So essentially half a second a lap. He's done very well today as Lionheart 88. And I'm sure that's going to be reflected in his race result. And again, that's the beauty of this championship. You may not be the fastest Lotus 88 driver or the fastest Mazda driver, but having 3 disciplines, you're bound to succeed in one of them. And that is exactly what Lionheart has done today. That is exactly what Giagni did previously. Are we going to see it with the A races? Who knows? We'll have to find out a bit later on. But for now, we turn our attention to the racetrack for a few more moments. Oh, and off goes Brock Landers from P4. That's making his way out of McLean's corner. And he's on the way down to the chicane. He's got the car back on again. He may be attacked there by Devil Bevan and company very shortly. He's bringing Dimitri with him if he does. However, he does hold his ground quite nicely. So Devil and Dimitri, oh, and WTTN actually and KKND battling there, dicing and slicing around. KKND goes wide, WTTN cuts underneath, and now takes a position just a little bit quicker. Can he hold on to it though? He's got one more lap to try and do so. The final lap of the race is underway. And Lionheart 88 already well on his way to finishing. He's almost at the chicane already. So Lionheart goes up in towards Melbourne hairpin for his 13th and final time today as your race leader. He's not messed up once. He's led every lap. He's taken pole position. I'm assuming he would have got the fastest lap in the victory as well. He's done the Grand Slam, something not many drivers can say they've done, especially in an environment as competitive as this. And Lionheart 88 wins your final round of the Donington Championship in fantastic style. But it's all about Nganji. Shimani crosses P2. He'll be the man that prematurely wins the championship. Nganji, you are going to Donington Park. You will be spectating the British Touring Car Championship. Courtesy of Simraceway. What a fantastic opportunity and what a fantastic championship that man has had. Crash HMF P3, Brock P4 as he crosses the line now in front of Devil Bevan and Dimitri. Then WTTN 7th, KKND in 8th place. Crash Action in 9th, Vajay in 10th. 11th and a very disappointed driver there will be Zeppa Quenu. 12th place will be Clark 10 and 13th and out of the race are Andy Bob and Emax 46. So 2 championships decided, still 3 more to go. Yes, that's right, 3 as we first of all head back to the Mitsubishi Winter Evolution X Championship. We'll be right back with you shortly. Hello everybody and welcome to round 4 of the Mitsubishi Evolution X World Championship here today, right here from the home of Simraceway, the Sonoma Raceway here in California. My name's Liam Jenkins. I'll call all of the action for you as it unfolds here in the final moments of qualifying in the series, which has seen a very strange turn quite recently. When we take a look at the championship standings, Van Panther on 40 points so far, really doing a supreme job out there. Once again, that's been shadowed in his qualifying today as he sits P3 now as Lolin Fox just pips him to second spot. It's then Shadow Bounty P2, Lolin Fox third, Wild 7 in fourth, and P8 in fifth, with Segadila tied with him in sixth. Now, an interesting point there as well is that all 6 of those drivers are separated by just 10 points. The top 6 separated by 10 points. That is an unbelievable feat as we go into this race, so it could be a very interesting, a very tense race as well. Now, these Evo races normally do shake up quite a lot of action, a lot of close, a lot of slipstreaming, but more importantly, a lot of tense racing. You just never know what's going to happen next, and I'm sure that's going to be much the same here today. 2 minutes 18 seconds left in the session. It is B136 now that leads the way, having completed 5 laps, a 126.7 being his fastest, and a 126.73 set by Lolin Fox, so he's not that far behind at all as we go into the final 2 minutes of qualifying here at Sonoma. King Dio jumps up to 4th, and Kappa Bomber jumped up into P5. Let's wait and see how the rest of the field fare out then. We've still got a little bit of time left to play with here. So the banker lap should have been in now. It's more just a case of trying to get yourself in that optimal position. So 1 minute and 8 seconds left to go then, and quickly just trying to flick through the field there. We've got another full grid as well. Litos 76 makes his return after taking a race out there. He's just flown over from Donington. We've got Tomcat 458, Devil Bevin, also there, Segadila, Luke Sky, ET will be fun to watch. Mr. PA, always a pleasure to watch there. Ragster, Wild 7, Suzuki LJ50, who's surprisingly increased in performance as time went on. Very, very exciting young prospect in the making there, Suzuki. Really made his mark a couple of weeks ago, and he's never really looked back since, has he? So 20 seconds of qualifying left on the clock. Ragster about to set a time, actually, just going in towards those final couple of corners now, in towards that all-important final hairpin, the one which seen so many overtakes over the past year here at Sim Raceway in the Sunday race-offs. And the Evos never failed to make a show in here at all, do they? It's been an honour to commentate all of the Evo races to take place at this Sonoma circuit. And as Ragster brings his car across the line, is there going to be time for another lap or no? That's going to be the key question. No, there's not. And he moves up to 5th, so a late move there for Ragster. Kappa Bomber's in, Suzuki's in as well, Wild 7. PA from 9th, will he improve? He goes 8th, beating Wild 7, who's gone airborne into the stands. That's a, wow, that's a huge crash. Segadila's still on a lap, Luke Sky's on a lap. All the leaders have gone, now we're just waiting for a couple more drivers to get across the line, and then that should be signed, sealed, delivered. Segadila, one of the last drivers who can really make an impact in this session, again is working his way towards that final hairpin. Now let's see what this final moment has in store for us. Will there be a late shock or a late twist in the tail for Segadila? So across the line goes Segadila now. Then let's find out where he will improve to on the grid. Is it a lot? He goes 9th. He does make an improvement. So that rounds out our qualifying session. We'll be right back with you with the full race in just a moment's time. Hello everybody and welcome back live to the Simraceway Evolution X Championship round number 4 here from the Sonoma Raceway. 16 laps of action about to get underway. We've got a full grid, we've got 4 red lights, and now we have a race. A very slow start there from King Dio. And Seville made their way up the hill in towards turn number 1 and 2, slicing and dicing around, desperately vying for position. I've got to say, King Dio did not get off to a flyer at all there. Raxter's been able to try and wrap round the outside. A couple of cars have gone wide. Suzuki LJ50, I believe, was one of them, in fact. As they make their way down now in towards turn number 4 as well. A bit bumpy over the curve, it's got to be said, but B13 doing a very good job holding up the B13 bus at the moment. Still a few drivers trying to navigate their way past, but for the most part it's been very solid driving indeed. Although he's been attacked there by Lolin Fox, that's for sure. He's getting a bit aggressive. Lolin Fox immediately trying to disperse of the bus and take charge of it, make it the Lolin Fox line, it seems. King Dio there, maybe gone a bit too quick through there, receiving a stop and go penalty. I'm sure it will be revoked this early on as they make their way in towards the final corner for the first time out of 16. It will be B136 that leads the field if he can just get this corner right. Yes, he does. He holds it very nicely and will lead the field over the line for the end of lap number. So starting the second lap, and just look how close the field are. It's an endless line of swarm of cars, but not at the back anymore. Devil Bevan's lost a wheel, and he's out of the race. And just like that, Devil Bevan's race has come to a climax, and maybe his championship floats along with it as well. Very unfortunate there for Devil Bevan, but all still fair and love and war at the very front of the field. A fantastic effort by B13. Van Panther, the championship leader, they're breathing down the top 2 leaders next now. He's getting very close indeed, and look at that endless one. Beautiful camera view there by our classic cameraman Carlos. So again, a massive thank you to all the effort he puts into these broadcasts. They simply would not be the same without him. He just brings an extra level of dimension to them, that's for sure. And on a track like this, I think it's definitely fair to see that. So going towards the final corner, late move by Van Panther indeed, and a big lockup as well there. But not a bigger lockup as what Raxter had, as King Dio forces his way back up the inside and taking that position. Lap 3 of 16 about to get underway, but yellow flags out. It's been a bit of an incident somewhere along the lines. Can't see it at the front, it must be towards the very rear end of the field. Ah no, Suzuki that was going into the pits. So Suzuki into the pit lane, and I don't think that's for a penalty either. I may be mistaken, but no, that's a... Oh, it's really bizarre actually. It's kind of confused me. Wait and see what he does. I'm pretty sure that's just going to be a regular stop then. It must be very early on. That's a bit strange here by Suzuki. It'd be interesting to see what happens or what the story is behind that one. So Suzuki back to 13th then after exiting the pit lane after a very peculiar stop indeed. But look forward, and there you'll find a certain Mr. PA under a lot of pressure from Sega Dealer, as they really do try and attach Kappa Bomber there. Kappa's done a fantastic job in the early stages. We're about to hit the 1 quarter mark, but even so. Oh, bit of a nudge there, I think, for Kappa Bomber, and he's able to just about keep that car pointed in the right direction. But now the field starts to space out a little bit. You can see behind, though, PA reluctant to give up. But I think Sega Dealer may be trying to give him a run for his money. And it's going to be a very big run as well as they climb the hill up through turn number 1 and 2. such a tricky corner to get right as well, and I think all 4 cars there in that train have done very well to get through as cleanly as they have. They're very congested back there in the midfield. I see right at the front of the field as well now. Van Panther's on the attack. Van Panther trying to move up to the inside of Lolin Fox there, but he can't quite get the momentum he needs to make that move for second position. Let's try and take a ride on board as they go through the S's and make their way back up towards that very important hairpin once again. They first have to encounter this very, very difficult corner now. All the way to the left, don't even lift off the throttle once, then you lift off after a very tense ride in towards the final hairpin. You need a good run through there, but it's so difficult to get one, especially when the stakes are this high and the drivers are fighting this hard as well. They both take the same line. They both gained on B13 there, in fact. A quick rundown of the order then, and looking at how it would affect the championship standings if the checkered flag were to fly now. B1386 would have a notable improvement. Lolin Fox second. Van Panther will provisionally take the series with King Dio P4, Ragster there P5, P6 is PA. I'd say at the moment he's only just in front there. He's still holding on for dear life against Segadila and Luke Sky. The trio switch around quite a lot. Then Litos, Wild 7 and Tomcat. But Wild 7 is all over the back of Litos, and Wild 7, the sponsor of the old Renault Formula 1 team back in the day. And now that name being used here to really give a bit of an impact here, and just exactly seeing how much the Wild 7 does have to offer. He's pushed on a very, very difficult task here of trying to overtake Litos. He's already been involved in some racing today with the Mazdas. He knows how to defend at a circuit like this. Sonoma, kind of reminiscent of Donington Park. And again, they make their way towards that vital hairpin. Up the inside there, he's actually cutting the course a little bit. It's a bit cheeky there by Luke Sky 80. But he does provisionally take that position from Segadila and moves up the field. So the question is, how much further can he move up the field? So lap 6 out of 16 then. And as we just take a look again at what's happening at the front of the field, B13 has led every lap so far. If he does so and leads the next 11 laps and crosses that finish line, he will be the 3rd driver out of 3 races to accomplish that feature, to take pole position and win the race, having not conceded first position or not led a lap. He would have led every single lap this race, and that is an astounding feat here if we can achieve that tonight. So B13 will be working hard for that. It won't be made easy for him though, as both Lolin Fox and Van Panther are battling hard for positions. They realise what's at stake here. B13, this race is not as crucial for his bids. He realises that his championship position may not be as important as the 2 men behind him. But even so, he's still going to fight tooth and nail for it, and who can blame him? He's a racing driver, that's what they do. The B13 actually goes a bit wide. Oh, and talking of wide, kicking the back end now is Van Panther. That would have looked fantastic in slow motion. And unlucky for us, I don't think we've just got that feature yet, but that was a beautiful moment. He was off the track by a country mile. Somehow kept that going, and if that was dancing on ice, the judges would be given a standing ovation. That was magnificent car control there by a certain Mr. Van Panther, but in return, he sort of lost a bit of time, actually. He's kind of dropped back quite a lot and actually left the two leaders of B13 and Olin Fox to duel between themselves, which is not, I'm sure, what his intention was. He wants to win this race. As we approach a halfway stage of this race right now, the front three can still not be separated at all. Let's play a game of Russian roulette, ladies and gentlemen, because right now you could not pick a winner if you tried. It is pot luck. You've got as much luck as you would winning a game of Russian roulette. It all comes down to these three drivers right now, and you could not predict it. It is so close with these three, so evenly matched. And when you think of what's at stake as well, again, I'll quickly remind you here of these championship standings. Van Panther is on 40 points, Lolin Fox is on 36. You get 20 points for a win, 18 points for second place, 16 points for third place. If things finish as they are, Lolin Fox would finish second and get a 2-point advantage over Van Panther, but still lose out by 2 points. He needs that man to finish in P3, and he needs to pick up a win to be tying even with this championship right now. Can he do it? There is a chance. Van Panther's third. All Olin Fox has got to do now is the hard part. The road's been laid in front of him. It's just up to Lolin Fox now to run that road down and chase it like it is a dream, like it is, you're just clutching, and you are never going to let that dream die. Lolin Fox has got a slim chance to clench his championship today as an underdog, and he could very well do it, but B13 is slipping into the distance, 1.87 seconds away and gaining 2.1 as they cross the line. He is getting further away. The hunter's becoming the hunted, and Van Panther knows it. He's using it to his advantage. So Van Panther pops over the curb there, and he still can't quite get anything to go at the moment. Lolin Fox doing a very good job at defending him off. Quick run down through the rest of the field then. Ragster P5, P6 is PA. Luke Sky there down in P7, Litos 8th, then Tomcat and Segadila 9th and 10th, with Wild 7 in 11th, and Suzuki in P12. Kappa Bomber 13th and out of the race after losing a wheel at turn number 1 on lap 2, I believe. Yeah, lap 2 was Devil Bevan. Van Panther's getting a little bit ragged now. You can see that in his driving style. This is going to be a close finish. They're both driving the wheels off the car. So we're starting lap number 10 of 16. Lolin Fox is trying to apply the pressure, the gap down to 1.3, so he did gain a bit last time round. Van Panther 1.2 seconds behind him now. Lolin Fox can tie the championship today, but he has to win. Van Panther has to finish third. If he finishes any lower and Lolin Fox wins, it's game over and Lolin Fox clinches it. These two protagonists are giving it their all, and they're giving us a thrilling showcase of racing right now. But only one of them can be crowned a champion. And as this race runs its way into the sunset, don't forget we've still got the two big Skillcorn races in the finale of your Donington Championship coming a bit later on to find out who will be heading to Silverstone and packing their bags off for a trip of a lifetime, and who will be staying home, maybe reminiscing about the times they could have pushed a bit harder or could have gone for that more daring move into turn number 3. And Lolin Fox does get closer again. The gap now under a second. Van Panther still suffering. 1.8 seconds now. It is a seesaw effect. It is back and forth between these drivers. And I can't really predict who's going to win, that's for sure. And Although one thing I will say is that Van Panther has lost quite a bit of time. So they bounce over that curb again. They keep doing that, and Van Panther's losing time. He's taking a more aggressive driving style over the past few laps, that's for sure. Been swinging the back end out a bit more, drifting it a tad more. And in return, that more conservative, more laid-back approach that's been demonstrated by Lolin Fox is seeming to have the greater effect. 0.8 seconds the gap now between himself and the race leader. So King Dio, then Rackster, then PA, then Luke Sky, then Litos, Segadila, Tomcat, Wild 7, Suzuki, Kappa Bomber and Devil Bevin are your runners. But all the attention, all the spotlights are on these two men at the front of the field. They've got 5 laps of racing left to go this time by. And Lolin Fox is looking dangerous. Let's see what the gap is as they cross the line. I think it may have gone up a bit, 0.959, so not a lot bigger. But still a bit of damage limitation there for race leader B13, who's now led all of them, all the laps so far. Only time will tell just how big this lead will get or how small it will get. Can they get closer before the race ends? Can they get close enough to make a move before the race ends? That's going to be the question on everyone's lips deep down. Is this too late? Because right now B13 has put on an impressive display of defending here so far. .7 the gap, and now Van Panther's 2.6 away. What's happened to Van Panther? He's really losing time now, and he can just feel it slipping away. The momentum is shifting back onto Lolin Fox's side. Remember, I'll give you an update on the championship now. 40 points Van Panther, 36 points for Lolin Fox. Actually, what we're forgetting is where Shadow Bounty currently placed as well. The answer is he's not in the race today. Don't forget that's a Shadow Bounty. Cannot win this championship. So a difference of 4 points at the moment, which is first to third. There isn't long to go now, and you can really start to almost feel the tension. This is the most tense I've been. Sorry for the little pauses. I'm just sat honestly basking in the sort of glory that we're witnessing here. Lolin Fox could pull off the underdog story of the Simraceway year if he can just get the scenario to fall into his place. The groundwork's there, as we said. He's just got to carve it now into a beautiful building. All that stands between him and a championship win and a race win is that man, the pole sitter and the leader of 13 of the 16 laps so far, B1386. 0.6 of a second as they go through the final corner for the 13th time today. 3 laps to go here at Sonoma Raceway. And if you've just joined us, you're in for a thrilling climax, that's for sure. I warned you all at the end of last race that this one would be a thriller, and hopefully I've not disappointed. These drivers are giving it their all right now. We've just taken right on board from what it looks like from the rear end there of B1386 over the back of that rear spoiler. The Evo desperately trying to pull away, and it's like watching a hungry eagle just feast down on its prey. And you know the imminent move is coming. It's just a case of when and where. It's not a case of if this move will happen. Lolin Fox has got it all to play for. He knows what's at stake here, as does Van Panther, but Van Panther's now 4.8 seconds away He is falling down the order very quickly. He's only 12 seconds in front of King Dyer, so if he makes an error, he's not exactly safe in P3. All he's got to do is drive home. Maybe he's playing it safe now. Bring the car home in third. You know that passing at Sonoma is very difficult. Passing with these cars are very difficult, which makes the challenge even harder than it already seems. So if you put 1 and 1 together, you make 2. It's going to be very difficult for Lolin Fox to pass B1386 without the risk of a collision, losing the position, or maybe even losing further positions. So Van Panther knows this, and he's just maybe now taking it in his stride, bring the car home, and let fate play its part. So the penultimate lap of the race then has just got underway, and Lolin Fox has started to lose a bit of ground now. Maybe pushing a bit too hard, it seems. Although he did get a lot closer there through that corner. Yeah, Van Panther, I think it's clear what he's doing. He's 5 seconds away now from the leader, but one man who's just a matter of 5/10 away is Lolin Fox. He's got 2 more laps to get past him, this being the first of the 2 of them. Through this fast-flowing section they go. Lolin Fox can't get the slipstream going as soon as he'd like to, really. He needs to be getting on it a lot quicker than that if he wants to make a pass into that final corner. And unfortunately for him, I think he may have just lost it out this time. Has he though, or has he not? Is he going to win this? If Van Panther gets third, Lolin Fox gets second. Van Panther is the champion in the Mitsubishi Evolution X World Championship here for December 2013. What better way to close out the year? The last stream of 2013, the last time these Evos will be on your television screens. And they're giving us a race of a lifetime now. They're doing everything they can to make this the perfect finish to what has already been an enthralling race. And Lolin Fox wants that position so much. He wants to end his 2013 in style. You can already see the eagerness and the hunger in his driving style. He's got closer, 0.67 there through Sector 1. Van Panther now 6 seconds behind almost. But every corner that Lolin Fox doesn't pass, he is missing an opportunity, and he may rue those missed opportunities by the time that checkered flag falls. He cannot get close enough. Corners are running out. Is this race over? Is B13 going to be the 3rd driver in a row to get pole position and a race victory, having led every single lap of the way? He's just got 2 more corners to go, and that is done. Into the hairpin, nice tight line there. Lolin Fox can't get close enough. So subsequently, that is the end then. B1386 is going to come across the line, a pole sitter, 100% lap leader, and a winner in the Evolution X World Championship. Lolin Fox, second best there. He came second in the championship by 2 points, second in the race overall. And there is your championship winner, Van Panther. What a sublime result that was for him. A tremendous championship bid. He let fate play its part there. He didn't drive the wheels off the thing. He realised if he just drives conservatively, brings the car home, then the rest will fall into place lovely. And indeed it did. King Dyer takes 4th. Ragster takes 5th. PA takes 6th. Luke Sky takes 7th. Segadila 8th place. 9th there for Leadsos, about a 10th of a second away. 10th for Tomcat. 11th will be Wild 7 when he gets to the hairpin. Followed by Suzuki, and followed by Kappa Bomber there in his first ever race, with our only retirement there being Devil Bevin. So very low attrition rate in the 16 laps we had. And as they now get their way towards the start finish line again, it will be Wild 7 that does clench 11th position. Suzuki that's 12th, and Kappa Bomber that's 13th. So a massive well done to Ragster, to Lolin Fox, and to Van Panther, I beg your pardon, Lolin Fox and every other driver who's competed in this championship. It's been a pleasure to call it. And right now we've got 2 more races for you tonight. We go back overseas to Donington on the other side of the pond for the finale of the Donington Championship of the 900 to 1100 skill quant. We'll be with you very shortly. Hello everybody and welcome to the closing moments of your Simraceway Donington Championship here 2013 with the grand prize of a pair of British Touring Car Championship tickets at the Donington circuit next year. Is truly a fantastic opportunity and one these drivers do not want to miss, and you can see that evidently just purely from the amount of close times we've seen here in qualifying so far. 5 drivers separated by 6/10 of a second, the entire field separated by just over 1.5 seconds. A very close session indeed, and we can't wait to get it underway. My name's Liam Jenkins. I'll call all of the action for you over your next couple of hours or so. And as we take a look at the standings overall then, in the 900 to 1,100 skill corner, Shadow Bounty that leads with 140 points. Strogathi is 120, Jamie 104, Lounge is on 100, Sean 24 is on 92, Mepday is 80, Axvarti's on 72, and don't forget the majority of those will be in action a bit later on. We've got the drivers here today who are really competing to just get themselves within a look here, or possibly be in an outside look, maybe a wild card or something like that. Guys who have done fairly well all season, guys like Fregel. John Daniels makes his return. He's currently P4 on the grid at the moment. He's 25th in the championship overall on 15 points. So he hasn't had too bad of a season. We said last week about how much he's matured as a driver before he had that fateful spin in the Lotus 88B here at Donington Park. But a quick look through at the qualifying times and what we've got here so far. It is Fregel that still leads. T-Bolt second, then Graf Findel, then John Daniels, Mad Max, Severio, The Flow, DiMagico, RT Metz, Andrea Expert, Luke Sky 80, and Mr. PA in 13th position, with Vasquez in 14th, still yet to set a time with 1 minute and 18 seconds left in the session. With 50 seconds left, and a few of the drivers surprisingly in the pit lane. John Daniels, who made an error, goes back in the pit lane, realising that he cannot improve his time. Mr. PA obviously feels he's done enough as well. 2.4 seconds off the leader, and he returns to the pit lane in 13th. He will not be doing another time here today. So the question is, can anyone stop Fregel from taking his pole position? He's just overtaken T-Bolt now. He crosses the line again. Can't improve his lap time, but T-Bolt's going in towards Goddard's here for what could be his penultimate time. Bit of oversteer, but he made that look so courageous. And as he goes across the start-finish line, oh, he takes it back by a tenth. Anything you can do, I can do better. And as they go into the final lap, this is going to be a lap to remember for these two drivers, that's for sure. It's going to come down to this lap then. Severio's P4 also going into that final corner. Let's see how he can react to the current situation. Can he improve his time when it's needed? Let's find out over the line. No, he doesn't. He stays fourth. That session over for him. And Fred was in the pits. So Fred was at a moment. He's in the pits. He will not improve. Graf Findel is as well. Severio is. Mad Max is. The Flow is still out in P6. He'll be setting a time very shortly, as is a certain Mr. Vasquez. Doesn't improve his time though. Let's see what the Flow can do. Can he cross the line in a better position? He's got damage, I think. Yeah, he has. He's over the line. There's no improvement there. And T-Bolt then we're just waiting for now to see if he can maybe improve his lap before the session comes to a close. I think he may just have a chance if he can keep driving at this speed to make it a more dominant pole position. Yes, it's just a number, but knowing you've got that sort of speed advantage over your fellow opponents gives you a reassuring fact when you're going towards the next session. Over the line he goes, and he doesn't improve, but he does take pole position by 1.6 tenths. We'll be right back with you with the full race. Hello everybody and welcome back live to the finale then. Your last two streams of 2013 in a Simraceway Championship. The Donington Championship is about to get underway. It was T-Bolt who took pole position, but will he follow the trend of winning a race, taking pole and leading every lap? Let's find out as they head down to turn one. Now a big start by your pole sitter. Frankel going to the outside. He always does. They're trying to pass on the inside of turn one. A late move and Graf Findel out of nowhere takes lead in the race. A huge smash in the background. And off goes John Daniels, who was involved with Severio also. But what a moment for Graf Findel. That was a daring pass into turn number one. I've never seen anything like that in all, well, it must be 3, 6, 9. Yeah, 9 races now I've had at Donington. And I've never seen a move like this. And look at the dominance he's got. Almost 0.6 of a second gone already. That is an absolutely insane lap. Question is, can he keep this sort of pace up or no? As he moves on. But look at this, it was 1.2 seconds. Graf Findel is a changed man. Fraggle and the flow are following in third and fourth. Then there's PA and off goes Severio. I think he may have been a bit of contact involved there actually. So Vasquez and DiMaggio battling as they come out of Melbourne hairpin as well in towards that final corner. Cars scrambling to position up and down the field. But what an insane first lap that was by Graf Findel. It has to be said, that was supreme. As I take a look now what's going on up and down the field as well. Graf Findel, 1.5 seconds, then T-Bolt, then Fraggle. Then the flow, then PA, but look at the train behind PA there, you can see Andrea's had a great pass, Andre, pass up to P6, 7 is Luke Sky, Severio up the inside, into the chicane, gets blocked off, that was never going to work through there, unfortunately, as much as you would have liked it to. It could have been something very extreme, but I just don't think it had the potential in the end. And there's a car off there, and here was Andre, who's been hit again. He's been hit twice in the same corner and finally gets that car turned back around, but he's struggling today unfortunately after what was a very promising start. Unfortunately for him, he's going to be losing out fairly big time now. But still PA trying to pull away, leaving the Luke Sky line to do what they do best, and that is battle. And now you can already see there's a bit of tension there. As off goes, I thought there was going to be a bit of contact. And it was, it's PA that takes the fall, unfortunately, down to P9. But Graf Findel is doing nothing but flying here. 1.8 seconds now already. On he goes again. Graf Findel starts at number 4, then T-Bolt, then Fraggle, then the flow, then Severio. RT Mets are battling away. Big battle, in fact, there. And in fact, they both take a bit of a fall and go wide. RT Mets putting his lights on, maybe showing his disconcern there with Luke Sky. T thinking it was a bit rough, maybe. But as the race goes on, a bit of an aggressive line there that was for Luke Sky. He's going to be quite careful about how he approaches that as the race wears on. He can't be that aggressive all race. That's surely going to end badly for him and he'll end up in a very unenviable situation. But right now, just behind them, RT Met is giving it all to defend against Vasquez. But our race leader, Graufindel's still pulling away nicely, but my attention has all honesty been drawn towards that battle with our team Metz, and you can see why, as Vasquez almost looks to the inside of Melbourne. In fact, he does look to the inside of Melbourne. But Metz has that one covered. Very sleekly done indeed. They start lap number 5 with Graufindel leading 1.8 seconds away. Timo second, then Fregel. Followed by the flow still, then Severio is a bit further back, then Luke Sky. And the RT Metz and Vasquez battle. Those guys have been really going pretty intense over the past couple of laps here. They're trying to get that quick, aggressive start off. They don't want to be trying to force something big at the end. They want to get the positions early, defend them later on. And if you can blame them as well, defending around Donington is a lot easier than attacking around Donington. And that's because of the sheer nature of this circuit that really does reward defensive driving. But just take a look on board. Let's take a ride on board here. Full lap then as Graufindel crosses the line. And just see the wizard at work then as he goes in towards turn number 1. Down into third gear. Look at that. Now, most drivers go into second. Not Graufindel. He goes to third. Keeps the revs lower. Gets the traction through the car. And in turn that gets him a much better exit out the corner. Through the crane of curds and the old head. But then look at the oversteer on there. But he kept it in a very straight line indeed. Masterful work there at the Master 787. Through the quick right-hander and onto the little straight past McLean's. And that'll bring him up in towards that old straight very shortly, where the infamous bridge used to be once placed. But now Graufindel is fighting a very different battle, and that is him versus the tarmac. 1.4 seconds nearest to the car next to him now, in towards that tricky chicane. Swings the car inwards, bounces over the anti-cuts, but nothing he can't handle. The Master's at work. And then through Melbourne he goes, tidy line through there. That was just beautiful. As he goes into Goddard's, fling the car in. Oh, bit of opposite lock there. First time we've seen that all day. And as the car crosses the line, that will give him a perfect time of 1:13.9. So still very quickly, despite a couple of mistakes there. But so, another lap's almost passed, and I was just trying to observe there the attacking line that Vasquez is taking in trying to pull up on Luke Sky80, but it seems he's pushing way too hard. There's a lot of aggressive lines going there. He's very quick on entrance, but he's just not able to get the power down early enough through the corners. And if you watch him through here, especially through the chicane, which is where we saw him a couple of times last time, you see he comes out way too deep, and he loses all that extra traction, and that is where he's losing the time to Luke Sky80. So now then, we've really got to start thinking about the championship picture as well for these drivers. Obviously the points scoring a little bit different here as Vasquez looks to attack Luke Sky once again. Not quite through there though, despite no matter how much he tries. He couldn't quite get it off yet. He's doing everything he can though to put that move on him, and Luke Sky isn't yielding. We can blame him either. There's a lot to play for here. every single point counts in this short sprint championship, essentially. As we approach the halfway stage of the race, almost 10 minutes in now, and you can all really start to see the driver's effect now that it's going to have on the tarmac. The tarmac's going to get hotter, the lap time significantly quicker as Grafindel makes his way through the Carina curves for the 9th time today. So T-Bolt second, Fregel still third, then the Flow fourth, Severio fifth. Vasquez has now got past Luke Sky 80 in P6, P7 there obviously is Luke Sky. And then RT Metz, then Andre out, then Mr. PA, then Daniels, who's still going in P11, so fair play to him. But right now there is a cloud to loom over Donington now. You can see the setting getting a little bit darker, it seems. Is Luke Sky's race getting darker or brighter actually as he still fights to attack Vasquez? And now it's Luke who's had to switch out for the defensive playbook, get the offensive one in there and see what he can do on the other side now. Can he maybe get some moves going? We already said that defending is a lot easier than attacking right here at Donington Park. Or is he going to prove us wrong and make an easy move? There's been an incident up in front of them, and that was Severio. He's down to 7th. So Severio there, he was having a fairly strong race up until that point. Maybe a bit disappointed after that one. So, the main point that I've just noticed here, especially a bit further down that field, is that the driving has kind of eased off a bit. A lot of the drivers aren't pushing themselves to maybe while they could. And oh, Team Mertz! Losing the back end there. The tyres starting to give way a bit halfway in this race, especially to those drivers who maybe pushed a bit harder earlier on. But the point is, through the Carina curves, those tyres get put under so much stress and pressure as well. As T-Bolt is actually catching Grafindel. He's only 2.1 seconds away and he's getting closer. And now that is going to be alarming for Grafindel, who's led all 11 of the laps so far. So if he wins, whilst he doesn't follow the trend of being the pole sitter, he will follow the trend of leading every single lap and winning, the same which all 3 winners have achieved tonight. Oh, and a big lockup through the final corner for Grafindel. That was huge. Oh, he's going to the pressure, there's no doubt about it. Another 100th of a second has just been chipped. But as they climb the hill again, T-Bolt is under... Oh, he's getting down to 1.8 seconds. He is getting there. Fregel a further 2.7 seconds away, so he's not really going to make too much of a dent for the foreseeable future. Unless T-Bolt and Grafindel get battling, but this is where the excitement starts to build. Then we have 6.5 laps of racing left now. They're starting to approach a bit of traffic as well. Grafindel is approaching traffic. And that could be a very deciding point in this race, really, depending how he navigates his way through it. Let's just find out. Final corner. And T-Bolt swings in a lot earlier than Grafindel. Let's see what the gap is. It was 1.8 seconds during Sector 2. During Sector 3, it's 1.81. It goes down again. And right now, they're both losing. Well, Graffindel's being reeled in, that's for sure. 2.5, Fregel's gaining as well by 0.2. The top three could be on for a David and Goliath battle here as the sun sets at Donington. We have just 6 laps to go then, and Grafindel down to 1.7 seconds. His reign of terror could well be over here then. Thibault having to seemingly preserve the tyres a bit longer. Let's just wait and see then. It's 1.7. Let's see what it is when they cross that start-finish line again to start lap number 14 of 18. And yeah, still 1.7. So not a huge gain that time round, but even so, a gain's a gain. There's still plenty of time to gain it, especially if Grafindel keeps making these little errors he's making. They're not huge, but they're significant enough to potentially lose in this race. So Vasquez has received a stop-and-go penalty. What's that for? That's from P5. That is intro. I'm assuming that would just be a corner cut which may get revoked. Yeah, our team X has just received a similar one as well. So a quick update of the order at this stage. Oh, Grafindel again made a bit of an error. That was going out of Melbourne hairpin, and that is a big error as well. That gap has come storming down. And there's a lap car in front of them, and now things are going to get very tasty very quickly. Someone's put an extra side order of chili sauce in the Big Mac. 1.8 seconds. Traffic up ahead. And 4 laps to go. This is going to be fantastic racing here as we head towards the flag at Donington Park. Thibault still working on it. Who's the car? It is John Daniels, so a man who's should have enough racing etiquette to get out of the way. So we'll wait and see what his actions are. Right now, he seems to have done a good job. Yeah, he's moved out of the way of Grafindel, okay. Let's just wait and see how it is going to affect the gap more, unfortunately, because it's now 1.9 and Thibault has got through, but he's done it in a difficult spot, and that is thankfully going to help Grafindel, so he'll be quite thankful to John Daniels there. He didn't really do anything wrong, but if that were me, I would have been way too scared of interfering and probably verted off into the grass somewhere by now. But a car leaves the pit lane after serving a stop and go, I believe, and that is not going to help Grafindel as he tries to chase them down through the crane of curves. And these 787s roaring round Donington for just a few more laps now. Thibault second still, as we said, then Fregel, the Flow and Vasquez starting to battle now. So Luke Scott has been dispersed and Vasquez is looking towards the Flow. There's only a few laps to go here now. But my God, are these guys close together. Oh, they were at least until that short moment there. So the Flow's pulling away a bit after Vasquez's error, very similar to Grafindel, but he's made an error there. Grafindel is falling, Thibault is flying, and he's bringing Fregel with him. The three leaders now are so close together, and look at that, Thibault goes through. And because of all the lap cars, Fregel is now right on their tail. He's just going to get past PA, And he may just have a shot. The penultimate lap's underway. Graffindo has a 1.3 second lead. That is the lowest it's been all race long after that monstrous start. Is this lead fading away, or does he still have fight left in him? Are those tyres going to give way, or can he just flung that a little bit more? They're screaming for mercy now as this Donington circuit comes alive in the lights. Graffindo is doing everything he can and driving his heart out to keep that 787 on track. But in doing so, the errors are getting more and more risky. They're getting more and more vulnerable as well. He's making them a much more regular basis. As you can see there, a bit of a lock-up through the chicane. I think you've got a bit of air under the car as well. Into the Melbourne hairpin for the penultimate time. Can he just hold on? In fact, no, there's been a bit of an error. I think, no, it's just my timing screen. I beg your pardon. Or has T-Bone made a mistake? I think he may have done. No, he can't be. I think there's got to be a timing error somewhere along the line. So Graffindo leads the penultimate lap, 1.9 seconds in front of T-Bone. And I think he may have just done enough, providing there isn't an error, but saying that we've seen some errors in the past. He got very squirmy through there. And you can just feel the chase coming alive, can't you? T-Bone is so close yet so far down the back straight. He won't be able to get close enough through the slipstream. 0.8 seconds. He's broken so late there. He's so close. 2 more corners to go. He needs Graffindo to kick up a wheel spin now. And a very late braking point. My Graffindo goes a bit wide. Perfect cornering. Bit of oversteer, but I think Graffindo may have just held his own for long enough. Final corner. Yeah, you can see he tried to take a tighter line there, but it's not enough. Graffindo leads every lap of the race. Graffindo continues the trend. He wins the final round of the Donington Championship, closely followed by a hungry T-Bone. Third is an impressive Fregel. Fourth place to Flo and Vasquez, who are still dueling away. They're side by side now into the final corner. This is what the edge of his seat was made for. As Vasquez dives back up the inside, they collide. It's a drag race to the line. And I think the Flo's going to win it. Yes, he does. By the narrowest of margins, the Flo clenches fourth from Vasquez. What a finish. Luke Sky 6th, Severio in 7th. 8th place will be Andrea Eekpas. 9th RT Metz, 10th PA, 11th John Daniels, and our 2 retirements and out of the race are Mad Max 66 and the Magico. Oh, I need a breather after that one. That was absolutely phenomenal racing in the perfect way to say goodbye to what's already been a very memorable 2013 here. Don't forget, we've still got one more race coming up for you. It's the big one. It's the decider. The best drivers in Simraceway battling it out for a chance to fly over to Donington and experience a British Touring Car Championship in real life. We'll be back very shortly with the finale. Hello everybody and welcome to the final Simraceway broadcast of 2013, and what a stipulation we have. The winner of this race tonight, the winner of this championship tonight, will get themselves a pair of tickets to the British Touring Car Championship set at Donington Park sometime in 2014. It will be a fantastic prize to win, and the top 3 drivers in the series will be racing their way to try and win that tonight. My name's Liam Jenkins and I'll be keeping you updated on who's in the chase and who simply may not be up to the pace as we get ready for what could be one of the most exciting races of 2013. Let's just wait and see what it has to offer then. We're in qualifying at the moment, 5 minutes to go. It's a friendly face at the front of the field. Asa Acola as he leads the charge to pole position. In the championship though, he hasn't really gone too well so far in terms of the championship. He's qualifying going into this race. Of course, he got 24 points last time out. And overall, he's put himself in a very good position when it comes to the championship. 11th overall, 62 points. 4 minutes 20 left. Lounger in P2. Shadow Bounty is the man you need to watch. He's currently 3rd. The leader of the championship by 20 points so far. In order to lose it, he would need the equivalent of a 6th place deficit to him and Strogafia. So Strogafia, who's currently qualified in 6th, would need to beat him by 4 positions. Now, it's definitely doable, but the question is, can it be achieved tonight when the lights are on and the pressure is at its fullest? There's only one way to find out. 3 minutes 51 seconds of the session left. Let's wait and see what Strogafia's got up his sleeve. So taking a look at the action on the circuit at the moment, and the track looking fairly congested at this stage. As Batsagaba crosses the line from P7 and does not improve. He stays 7th at this stage. So Jamie's currently P4 as well, in a good position. He's not that far away from the leader. Just 100th of a second away from Shadow Bounty in 3rd as well. So again, the top 5 looking very, very close indeed. Not even a second separating the top 8 at this moment. So a very close grid. As Jamie makes his way through Melbourne Hairpin and in towards Goddard's for what could be a very significant lap in this qualifying session. Let's find out just how significant it is as he makes his way to that start-finish line once again. Nice bit of kick of oversteer there, but in all honesty, I may have just propelled him a little bit, and he doesn't improve, and he starts lap number 6. So Varty P6, again, another man who's been a fairly big protagonist in this championship, maybe not as much as he would have liked. His championship standing position, of course, does reflect that. He's currently in P7, 72 points, so theoretically, still in with a shot of getting a top in that top 3. Let's go through the top 3 then. So to get in 3rd at the moment, it's 104 points. Okay, so 104 points is what Jamie is on. So Jamie has a 4-point lead over Lounger, who's on 100. Then Sean 24's 92 and Mepte is 80. It's a big deficit back to those guys who are outside of the top 3 at the moment. It's been a very inconsistent season for a lot of these drivers today, and they need the race of a lifetime if they're in with a chance of winning those tickets. And I'm sure that's going to be the main priority for all of these drivers, especially as we head in towards the final 1 minute and 21 seconds of action here at Donington. I'm sure it's going to be a very tense final moments indeed. The entire top 5 have done 7 laps. Sean 24 and 7 has done 8 laps, so he really is flying and putting the effort in. However, he is back in the pit lane now, realising that maybe he can't get another lap in. Asa Acola, though, defends his territory. 2.5 tenths now. He's just gone crashing down. Lounger into turn 1 has got himself a big advantage now. He's taken a huge chunk of time out of your current pole sitter and now looks to really put this race beyond all shadow of a doubt. Let's see what he can do. Or can anyone else get closer? Asa O'Connor crosses the line. Puts it back up to 3 tenths. So big start there. 2.5 tenths separating everyone now. So Jamie's P4, still with a bit of a shot there. He's back out on the circuit. Shadow Bounty, though, going towards the final part of this circuit. As is Lounger. Take a look at Lounger then. This is going to be the main one to look at. Through Melbourne hairpin, he needs a good effort. He needs to get himself in a strong position now. It's do or die for him if he wants that pole position. The field is so shaken up. The only constant here is that Shadow Bounty, the championship leader, remains in 3rd position. Lounger over the line. Can't quite do it. Let's see what Shadow Bounty can do. Is this going to be a pole position for Shadow Bounty, the 3rd one of the season? No, it's not. He stays 3rd. Jamie's on his way. In fact, the entire field are on their way to the finish line now. It's incredible. Asa O'Connor makes his way. Your pole sitter doesn't improve. Jamie 1 can't improve either. He stays 4th. And that rounds out the qualifying session. We'll be right back with you for the finale of your Simraceway 2013 broadcasting service and the 2013 Donington Championship. Hello everybody and welcome back to the final broadcast of 2013, and one where arguably the most dominant driver of 2013 has reigned dominant once again. But will he reign dominant in the race or the championship? Let's find out. The Shadow Bounty looks to secure the title here today. We're underway, a big start by the pole sitter. Loudon got to a terrible start. Oh, Hammer is broken loose. Strong Afia got the worst start imaginable. Collects AZ Best and Seacon, and PMMS in the background. AG06 got off the line extremely slowly, but managed to weave his way through the carnage. The rest of the drivers now on their way through the crane of curves, and now this is where things get interesting. Look at that group of four at the front of the field now. Shadow Bounty second, Axvarti third, Lounger fourth. He's off into the background, and he brings the car back on track. Is there contact? No, he's luckily avoided everyone else. Look at Graufindo in P6. He needs a good result here today. And just remember, when you look at those standings as well, Strogafius and I needs to watch in P2 in the standings. And right now, he's P10. That's not where he needs to be. He's got to find something, and he's got to find it fast. Shadow Bounty is in second and in pursuit of Asa Ricola. Can you catch him? There's another issue. Asa Ricola is hardly the most easy driver to pass. He's hardly a rookie in this Simraceway service. He's been, if you say, one of the most dominant drivers of 2013, and he leads the first lap. There's some smoke in the background. A long train of cars there. As you can see, Graufindo actually attack Asa Ricola. And Asa's down to P5, and that is not going to love him. Shadow Bounty does lead then. Axvarti in second. Back to game of P3. Sean 24's fourth, and he's slipstreaming. So close there on the back of Baxagaba. But he's really trying to out the pressure, isn't he? You can just see now already the track again. Almost catching fire, the amount of paces these guys are being put through today. In towards the chicane once again, that long line of cars led by Shadow Bounty, Axvarti, then back to Gaber, Sean, Asa Ricola, Graufindo, Jamie, Lounger, and Jamie's P7. And that's not good. Jamie, the man who's on the bubble at the moment of winning a pair of those tickets. Lounger on 100 points. Where is Lounger currently? The answer's 8th behind Jamie. He's got to step it up. He needs to try and pass Jamie. If he wants those tickets, he needs to pass Jamie and do it soon. Now Jamie got other plans of his own as Graufindo looks to attack him as well. Moves into turn one all over the place as Sean and back to Gaber do battle. And Seacom has retired and is now out of the race, but as lap number 3 still commences, the battle for the lead is just heated up as Axvarti gets a nice run on your leader up the outside, and that's not going to work surely. He's sweeping, he's lost the back end. And that was almost a contender there for breathtaking move of the season. It almost came to no avail, and now Axvarti's got to be careful because back to Gaber, Sean and Asa Ricola are just waiting in line to rip that car to shreds and take back what's theirs. Asa Ricola, more importantly, on Sean 24 to the inside. Not quite that time. He got close for sure, though. There's across the line, some more smoke in the background there, but again, main focus is that Sean battle at the moment. Sean and Baxagaba, who are still dueling away. But Baxagaba may have just got the best of him at this stage, actually. Now he's definitely getting better at defending. He was a bit wobbly to start with. But a big start to the race then, lap 4 of 27. And back to Gaber leading that little back to Gaber brigade. Sean, Ace of the Collar, Jamie and Lounger and Strogafia all following very closely then. All the drivers that need to get themselves going in some sort of rhythm. And Sean almost ended up the inside there. He was a bit sneaky. But unfortunately, again, could not quite pull the move off. Back at the front, Anxiety and Shadow Bounty were dueling away. But Shadow Bounty just set a monstrous 1 minute 12.8. So 1:12.9 there set by Anxiety. That's a big lap indeed. Back to Gaber though, still under pressure from Sean and Ace Racola. Those trio, arguably some of the most professional drivers that you'll see. Sean and Ace, as they always say, back to Gaber under their wing. A man who started off in the lowest skill quants of the Sunday race off and has really almost come of age as such in recent months. He's performed so well and definitely been one of the unsung heroes of the year. He's done so much in so little time. He definitely deserves a bit of recognition, and right now he's doing definitely doing a drive to warrant that, isn't he? Oh, and off in the background, who's that off? Oh, is it? Oh, it's Jamie 1! And that could be vital for the championship. The man who's on the bubble in 3rd place. He's only got himself a 4-point lead over Lounger. And now Lounger's up to 6th. That could be done and dusted here. The Lounger is trying to stick with Ace Racola, who's kind of taking an upper level against back to Gaber. Sean got through, and now Ace fancies his chances as well. Lap 6 of 27 here. So it's soon ticking on by, isn't it? And you can just see Baxo trying to find anything, just a little bit more momentum that he can swing in his own way. And Sean goes very wide there, going out on McLean's. And that is definitely going to cost him a little bit of time, that's for sure. Okay, so just gets that line absolutely perfect, inch perfect, time after time after time. And that is why he's one of the most dominant drivers in the history of Sim Raceway. Actually, that he's gone wide. Ace O'Connor says thanks very much into Melbourne hairpin. Back to Gaber really had no fight at all there. He kind of went wide and almost allowed Acer to go through. He just thought, yeah, you know, it's not worth fighting over. I can live to fight another day. But can he though? Because Lounger is on a warpath right now. Getting in that slipstream as long as he can. Move around the outside. So risky at turn 1. Redgate is such a deceiving little corner, but he's made it stick with flying colours. Lounger, give yourself a pat on the back, son. That was truly marvellous. With that to Gaber, Strogafia, AGO 6, Jamie number 1, PMMS in 10th, Daisy Best, then Bandito, Grauffindel in 13th. 14th and out of the race is Seekins. There's still only one retirement despite all of that going on we saw at the start of the race. There was a lot of antics, there was a lot of cars spinning out, but they'll keep going. And look at that train of cars then. Sean, Acer, Lounger and Baxter Gaber all together again. Baxter right to the back of that pack now though. He was at the front of it a few moments ago and unfortunately he's had to take a bit of a tumble and now he's got a very different view of the cars around him. Over the start finish line they go again to start lap number 8 out of 27. Still no one can touch Shadow Bounty at this stage then. He's looking to take yet another win. So Sean, Acer, Lounger, then Baxter, and now even Strogafia's getting a bit closer. AGO 6, Jamie, PMMS. They're all still fighting in it, but a little bit further spread out. The main crux of the race that's going on is in that midfield. Asa trying everything he can to catch him, but I think in all honesty, we may even see a couple of dark horses now because AGO6 is getting closer. Let's compare lap time this time round and see just who really is kind of the king of Donington at this stage. So as they go across the line, then Shadow Bounty does a time of a 1 minute 12.6, a 1 minute 12.3 from Anxiety. That's interesting. A 1:12.3 from Sean, a 1:12.2 from Acer O'Collar, a 1:12.4 from Lounger, a 1:12.9 from Back to Gaber, and a 1:13s all the way down to Jamu, who did a 1:12.7, but that was a very quick time there from Anxiety to really be quicker than Shadow Bounty, your race and championship leader. But looking back, it's been a very entertaining first half to the race, hasn't it? That's for sure. The drivers have put on such a splendid show at the moment, and it's only going to get better as the race goes on. We're almost hitting double-digit laps now. They're about to start lap number 10 out of 27, so almost a third of the way through the race. And across the line they go. This time round though, Acer O'Collar 1:12.2. Still quicker than our race leader by about 0.5 of a second. That's worrying. This is going to be a very hectic middle stint to the race, I can tell you that for sure. And Sean, then Acer O'Collar, then Lounger, then back to Gaber. Strogafia and AGO6, and he's bringing Jamie as well. So Jamie, after the error earlier on, still in ninth, still in a bit of contention. He's trying to really do some damage limitation now, fight for every spot he can to secure his position, to secure his championship bid. Just maybe sneak in those BTCC tickets as well. It's still a long shot at the moment, but it's going to take a lot. And Jamu, oh, he went wide. I think he almost went for a move there, and it kind of thought against it in the long run. But that could have been a bit too aggressive maybe at this stage. It's only lap 10. Yeah, he's gone wide again. He's pushing way too hard now to get his race back on track. About for third heating up then, as Acer O'Collar's been pumping in this ferocious lap times. He's got himself so close now to the back of Sean 24. He just really wants to get him out of the way as soon as possible. These two have known each other for so long around the Simraceway environment. They know what each other's capable of. I think it's fair to say they just really want to get themselves to the end of the race and to get themselves in contention of winning those tickets. Acer O'Collar's championship standing, it doesn't really reflect a positive season. He's had 62 points. He's in P11 at the moment. A big haul here today. Say it's the top 5. That's an extra 54. So he is still in the hunt. He's not out of this yet. He can still technically win those tickets. A win would definitely see him miles within contention, that's for sure. But he's got a lot of work to do, but never write him off. He was the pole sitter. We know what he can do in these cars. The man who paraded it around Laguna Seca along with the Mazda Furai. So through the crane and curves again, and he is getting a lot closer to Sean 24. With Sean 24 doing a good job at holding him off, and as I said earlier, Donington is a circuit which rewards defensive driving. It's so difficult to pass here. Although he almost made that look very easy there as Sean went a bit wide. Over the crest they go, and now really trying to attack Sean 24, but more into the chicane. Very difficult place to pass. He did it last week though in those Lotus 88Vs, but history doesn't repeat itself yet at Donington. Never say never though, as right now Anxiety and Shadow Bounty separated by 1.6 seconds, so Still a bit of time separating those guys. And a bit of action going behind as well there, actually. That is still Asa and Sean I've just picked up on again. Asa was getting dangerously close to the back of Sean, but the two drivers retain their current positions. Asa can't really convert it into a manoeuvre just yet, despite his best efforts, as they go into that chicane for the 13th time out of 27 then. Almost halfway through. And these drivers really giving it all now. They're putting it all on the line today. Sean really providing a strong challenge, I think, for Asa. That's got to be the word for it. You take a look at Sean's overall position as well. He had a 7th place last time out. He's 5th in the standings. Big chance now with Jamu's departure almost in the background and Launcher behind him. Sean 24's got a big chance to get himself inside again those ticket winning positions. So this championship could be absolutely anyone's at this stage. But Shadow Bounty definitely going to run away with this race, it seems. 5.66 seconds in front of Asa Acola. And he's just really not looked back, as he's been a dominant force at the front of the field today. And he always has been as well. He may not get a pole position, but you know he'll be at the front, and that is why he's had such a big presence in this championship. But also now as well, Sean 24, Shadow Bounty and Xfinity, all three of those cars are approaching some lap traffic, and that is going to be in the form of Graufindel actually. So Graufindel, it could be Bandito in fact actually. Yeah, I believe it's more than likely going to be Bandito then. Yeah, it'll be Bandito, the man in P12 at the moment. And Xfinity, as he goes down that back straight, has only lost a little bit of time there. He's 1.7 away from Shadow Bounty. 3 seconds now in front of Sean 24 and the Asa Acola scrap, which has been entertaining us for the past 15 laps or so, and we've still got some more squabbling with that to come, that's for sure. A bit of a look up there from Sean as well. That's quite uncharacteristic. Maybe to go into a bit of pressure now. So a quick update then on position. Shadow, then Xfinity. Sean 24 and Asa Acola separated by a mere 0.4 of a second. Baxter 5th. Strogafius in 6th. Jamu 7th. Then AGO 6. AZ Best. PMMS. Bandito. Lounger. Graufindel and out of the race, and still our own retirement is Seekers. Through the Melbourne hairpin goes Shadow Bounty. And you can just see how close Asa's getting there. Almost lit to the inside, but not quite this time. And I'll tell you what, a great place for a panoramic camera would be at that Melbourne hairpin, just to see how the different cars approach it. Racer Acola trying everything he can at the moment, still can't get past, and Sean with a big lock up there. I think they both threw the crane and curve, just maybe took a bit too much Astro, and that's going to cost them quite dearly, in fact. Especially when you look at the cars that are coming behind them. Baxter Gabe now 10 seconds back. He's lost out on a lot of position, that's for sure. Let's just wait and see, because Sean has defended 17 laps. Asa O'Connor goes to the outside, ducks back in. It was a beautiful idea, but it was cut short, unfortunately. Despite his best efforts, Asa must be left scratching his head. Asa doing anything and everything he can, just desperation now has got to start setting in because time's ticking by. It really is, and Graufinder with a bit of a lock up there in P12, but nothing too significant I don't think that he can handle. But down into Melbourne once again, Anxiety getting a bit closer now. We're just 1.4 seconds away from Shadow Bounty. He's doing absolutely everything he can to catch, but can't see it working out anytime soon. He's been too much of a presence now for Shadow Bounty. Despite his best efforts, it's been way too much. Into turn one again. Red Gate been that deceiving corner today. We've seen a few cars already fall victim to its complexities. And I'm sure we're going to see a few more before this race is out as well. We've only got a few more laps here. 22 minutes into the race. Our race leader has just started at number 19. We have just about 9 laps of racing left to go before we call it a day here. And then before we potentially crown a new champion in Shadow Bounty. And again, how deserving has he been when you take a look back at his results? 70 points, a win in race number 1. You went into race number 1 the week before, and it was just absolutely incredible once again. He's just been such a dominant force this championship. It's been absolutely brilliant to watch. So going into it, he won the race in race number 1. Going to he won race number 2, and now he's looking to go in race number 3. 140 points out of a potential 140. He's now looking to get arguably the greatest result that a Simraceway driver has ever achieved, if I'm right in saying, in a competitive atmosphere. 3 wins on the bounce in a different car at the same circuit. Shadow Bounty, if he wins this, is truly the master of Donington Park. I'm sure the whole community will agree with me when I say a massive congratulations to Shadow Bounty as well. And I just want to say again, a massive thank you to the company for, again, allowing me to commentate in this entire year. It's been a true honour and a privilege in 2013. And I can't wait to see what 2014 holds in front of us, especially when you've got racing as close and competitive as this, when the stakes are as high as this, when the drivers are driving the wheels off the cars lap after lap, and when you guys get to tune into these broadcasts every Sunday evening and let me know what you think. It really does make my week. And if you're thinking about getting into Simraceway, be sure to head over to simraceway.com, get on that download button. It's a free game to download, and you can go in the bright orange chat button, talk to the fellow racers that you've seen here racing today, get some advice on how to start, what you need to start racing. Just so much as a keyboard and a mouse can get yourself going in the right direction. And who knows, you too could end up fighting for some British touring car tickets at Donington one day, or a similar prize if your team drivers go to the Performance Driving Centre out at Sonoma. This will be the first time that a UK-based prize has been up for grabs and won arguably in the most dominant style possible. 1.5 seconds clear now is what Shadow Bounty has over Agsvarti. He's getting better. Again, Agsvarti isn't been able to catch him the last couple of times. I think he's been a couple of tenths slower each one, actually. But Ace O'Connor, meanwhile, is still stuck now behind Bax. I can't remember surely. Oh, Bax again gets out of the way almost. And that hasn't been a plan at all for him, but there must be some sort of timing error, I believe, unless Ace O'Connor's dropped back drastically. I think he actually may have done. Yeah, he must have. Ace O'Connor must have gone for a move and it's backfired. Because now Sean 24 is only 10.8 seconds in front. They were a few tenths before. Ace O'Connor has done a mistake somewhere. Back to Gaber. It's all over the back of him, look. He's forced his way at the inside. He's fighting the king himself. And he can't quite get it through, though. Ace O'Connor holds on a bit more. But now back to Gamer's got a real chance. He must have some sort of motivation sense, because at this stage, when you've got one of the fastest drivers in Simraceway in front of you, why not go for it? Why not push yourself that little bit more? So a quick, an updated run through the standings then. 1.6 seconds separating the two leaders. Shadow Bounty, then Agsvarti, then Sean, then Ace O'Connor now, who's P4. Just in front of Baxagaber, and then there's Strogafia and Jamu. That could be one of the battles to watch in the final 6 laps or so of this race. And you've got AGF6, AZ Best, PMMS, Bandito, Ralphindle PL, Lounger, Seacom out of the race. 2 retirements then so far after 23 laps of racing. The last one came on lap number 20, so a very low attrition rate here today, that's for sure. So Shadow Bounty rounds the final corner, followed by Agsvarti. This race still isn't over. There's still 1.5 seconds separating the two drivers. 1.4 now, actually, I believe. A 112.2 by Agsvarti. 3/10 quicker that time round than Shadow Bounty. That is an extremely quick time. Even Sean 24 was quicker there. That's been a mare of a lap there by Shadow Bounty. And back to Gabriel and Jamie, followed by Strogafio. Again, he's still with a shout there at P6. He needs to beat Jamie to keep his hopes alive of getting a BTCC ticket race. Well, at least to be in the race to earn one anyway. An update as well on what the championship standings were going into this. Shadow Bounty on 140, Strogafia 120, Jamu 104. So the driver's now looking to catch him with Lounger on 100, Sean 24 on 92, Agsvarti on 72, and Agsvarti now is P2. So with Agsvarti in second, that would earn him 66 points. So 72 plus 66, if my math correct me, is 113. Jamu, who's third in the championship and now is sixth, that will get him 50 points. No, Jamu would still secure it at this stage. So that is 100% guaranteed. If things stay as they are, Jamie will keep that ticket. But we've now just got a couple more laps left to go. Scenes definitely intensifying here at Donington Park as we come towards the end of not only the race, not only the championship, but 2013 as a whole. And what a year it's been for Simraceway. We've seen some amazing talent come through. We've had the privilege of working with men like John Hindhoff, like Alan McNish and Dario Franchitti, and the privilege as well of streaming a broadcast to Sonoma Raceway itself during the IndyCar event. That was something I never thought I'd be able to say in my life, to be broadcast on such a big stage as well. But it has been a fantastic year for Simraceway, and I really do think that 2014 it is going to explode. So be sure to stick around. There's plenty more where this came from, and we really can't wait to bring you some of the most exciting news possible. We've got some special social media plans next year, some ways to get you guys more involved with the product as well, to get more of a community that's buzzing more than ever. And hopefully some more videos as well for you on the YouTube channel here at Simraceway. So as we start the penultimate lap, was that an Xvarty spin? No, but it was darn right close to it. That was extremely close as Xvarty tried to get himself past the back marker, I believe. Sean 24 now on his own in P3. Really got to try and step it up somehow. He's losing quite a bit of time as of late. But just look at Shadow Bounty, he's just got a few more corners before he starts the penultimate lap. Well, ends the penultimate lap, I should say. And begins the last lap of the race. It's been an amazing journey for him. And if he can do this, it will be the dream win. He'll do the treble. And there's winning a championship, and then there's dominating a championship. There's winning it on the last race, and then there's winning it from the first race, which as soon as Shadow Bounty stepped in that car, a lot of people knew they may not do. He's one of the best all-round drivers overall. Yes, drivers have their specialities, but you know what Shadow Bounties is? Everything. He's one of the best all-round packages you can ask for in a driver, and he's proven that here in this championship today. A BMW E3, not a problem. A Lotus 88B Formula 1 car with the downforce that didn't really exist. A lot of drivers ended up retiring that race due to not being able to control the beast. Shadow Bounty could do it, and now taking control of a Le Mans legend. Shadow Bounty's done it on the grandest stage of them all. The finale of the Donington Championship. Thank you so much to the people at Donington as well for making this possible and for offering up such a brilliant, brilliant prize. And without you, we would not see some of the most fantastic racing I've ever laid my eyes on. So Shadow Bounty goes in towards that beautiful Melbourne hairpin for the final time today. Bit of oversteer, but it doesn't matter because Shadow Bounty is going to make history. He's going to Donington in 2014, and he's going to be your 2013 Donington Park Championship winner. Utter domination are the only two words to describe that man. Honestly, he deserves a round of applause from every single person watching this broadcast. That is a tremendous feat. He's won all three races and done it in amazing style as well. Xvarty crosses the line in second, Sean 24 in third, Acer Acola crosses in fourth, fifth place back to Gaber, sixth Jamie, seventh Strong Apia, AJ6 will finish in a lonely eighth in front of AZ Best, who was unfortunately caught up in that very start crash. After AJ6 manoeuvred his way round it, AZ Best did well to get that car pointing back in the right direction. PMS will finish in 10th place with Bandito just behind, rounding out in top 11. And Graufindu PL in P12, the man who looked like such a hot prospect earlier on. We said how much he's improved and how much he's come along, but unfortunately today wasn't to be his day. Out of the race then, and our two retirements are Lounger and Seacombe, and that brings us to the end of what has been a thrilling season, a thrilling race, and a thrilling year here at Simraceway. Again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to every single one of you who's made this sort of series possible. The guys who tune in religiously every week, the racers who give it their all in the broadcast and went through those 52 weeks of race to the weekends to get themselves in the Sunday race off, to be in the chance of winning one of those big cash prizes. It was an amazing atmosphere in 2013, and 2014 is only going to get better and better. Thank you so much to all the hard work the team at Simraceway put in, including our events manager Kosako for making every single event possible really, and to our cameraman Carlos as well for just really giving us such a spectacle to watch on a Sunday evening, and most of all to you guys, because without you watching there would be no broadcast and I would have nothing to do with my Sunday evenings. So thank you so much for making 2013 as amazing as it has been, and I'll see you next year for another year of Simraceway championships, of Simraceway goodness, and some fantastic racing. Happy New Year, guys. I'll see you soon.